Section 11.2, red blood cells, or erythrocytes. Structure and function of red blood cells. Structure of red blood cells. In your bloodstream at this moment are approximately 25 trillion RBCs. Approximately 2.5 million of them are being destroyed every second. This means that 1% of your RBCs are destroyed and replaced every day of your life. Each RBC is a biconcave disc with edges that are thicker than the center. This biconcave shape gives the disc a larger surface area than if it were a sphere. The biconcave surface area enables a more rapid flow of gases into the RBC. Biconcave structure. Very pretty. Ooh. The main component of RBCs is hemoglobin, Hb, which gives the cell its red color. Hemoglobin occupies about 1/3 of the total cell volume and is composed of the iron-containing pigment heme, bound to a protein called globin. The rest of the red blood cell consists of the cell membrane, water, electrolytes, and enzymes. Mature RBCs do not have a nucleus. RBCs are unable to move themselves and are dependent on the heart and blood to move them around the body. Function of RBCs. The function of RBCs are to transport oxygen, O2, from the lungs to cells all over the body. Oxygen is transported in combination with hemoglobin, or oxyhemoglobin. So then the second function of RBC is to transport carbon dioxide from the tissue cells to the lungs for excretion. And the third function of RBCs is to transport nitric oxide, NO, a gas produced by cells lining the blood vessels that signals smooth muscle to relax and is also a transmitter of signals between nerve cells. Life history of red blood cells. Red blood cell formation, erythropoiesis, occurs in the spaces in bones filled with red bone marrow. Hematopoietic stem cells become nucleated erythroblasts and then non-nucleated reticulocytes, which are released into the bloodstream. In approximately 5 days, the reticulocytes mature into erythrocytes. A hormone, erythropoietin, produced by the kidneys and liver, controls the rate of RBC production. A lack of oxygen in the blood triggers the release of erythropoietin, which travels into the blood to the red bone marrow to stimulate RBC production. RBC production is also influenced by the availability of iron, the B vitamins, B12, and folic acid and amino acids through absorption from the digestive tract. Small intestine, nutrient absorption, amino acids, iron, folic acid, B12, erythropoiesis in the red bone marrow. Erythrocytes circulate for 120 days. Expired erythrocytes break up into the liver and spleen. Cell fragments phagocyzed, hemoglobin degraded. And then that splits into heme and globin. And the globin turns into hydrolyzed to free amino acids. Heme gets broken into biliverdin and iron. Biliverdin breaks down into bilirubin, which turns into bile, which turns into feces. And then your iron, which goes to your storage and then reuse, and then loss of by menstruation, injury, etc. Interesting. Okay, the average lifespan of an RBC is 120 days, during which time the cell has circulated through the body about 75,000 times. With age, the cell becomes more fragile and squeezing through tiny capillaries ruptures them. Macrophages in the liver and spleen take up the hemoglobin that is released and break it into its components, heme and globin. The heme is broken down into iron and into a rust-colored pigment called bilirubin. Biconcave meaning having a hollowed surface on both sides of a structure. Erythroblast meaning precursor to a red blood cell. Erythrocyte, another name for a red blood cell. Erythropoiesis, the formation of red blood cells. Erythropoietin, protein secreted by the kidney that stimulates red blood cell production. Hematopoietic, pertaining to the making of red blood cells. Heme, Greek for blood, the iron-based component of hemoglobin that carries oxygen. Hemoglobin, red pigmented protein that is the main component of red blood cells. Macrophage, large white blood cell that removes bacteria, foreign particles, and dead cells. Oxyhemoglobin, hemoglobin in combination with oxygen. And reticulocyte, immature red blood cell. Reticulo meaning net-like.